Hi, Mark here, Wednesday, March the 5th, 9:38 a.m. Eastern. US session well underway, and let's have a look at the US dollar's performance, fighting back from yesterday's reversal and sell-off. Demand for US dollars again. Today, I got support at 98.33. I've got resistance 98.88. Buyers on the front foot looking to test this intraday resistance. If there's going to be a turnaround, and sellers do step in, I would assume it would be around this area, and they'd be looking back down at the support. But US dollar looking strong and has recouped about half of yesterday's losses as the US session gets underway. Let's have a look at the majors. Euro US dollar. Downtrend continuing, selling euro, buying US, stalled yesterday, but continuing so far today. I've got resistance at 116.48. I've got support at 115.82. Tough support level has been tested before. We'll see where the US dollar strength continues through the US session and sellers can break below this support level, or if we're going to get a turnaround from strong to weak US and buyers step in, looking back up at the resistance level. Pound against the US. Similar pattern to the euro, continuation of the downtrend, strong US dollar. I've got resistance today at 133.89. I've got support at 133.05. That's the level that sellers will look to test, break below. Bounce off the so far for the past 4 days, sellers haven't been able to maintain below this 133.30 and the 133 level. Here's a bounce going into the US session. If that does continue from strong to weak US dollar, buyers of pound, sellers of US will be looking up at this resistance level around the 133.89, looking back up at 134. US dollar against the yen. Here, strong US dollar recouped almost all of yesterday's losses. I've got support at 156.47. I've got resistance at 157.77. Once again, this resistance area going to get tested with strong US. Buyers will look for a test break above this and look up to the 158 level. And then the US dollar against the Canadian. Doji-like candlestick for now. US hasn't really been able to strengthen against the Canadian like it has against the other majors. I think partly due to the fact that the strong correlation between oil and the Canadian is propping up the Canadian for now. I've got support at 136.14. I've got resistance 136.72. Buyers will look to break above this resistance level. That's US dollar strength, US dollar weakness. Selling US buying Canadian will look down at the support at 136.14. But for the past few days, you can see how US dollar Canadian trading relatively flat around this 136.70, with neither side really being able to break out of this sideways range for now. On the daily, you can see I do have a succession of lower highs, lower lows, and it is a downtrend for now. We've got our resistance support levels to work with. Good trading. I'll see you at the end of day.